Good morning, students. Let us finish
Good
execution.
morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Execution of object-oriented programming concepts, and then I am opening Anaconda Navigator. In this, go to environments. In the whatever environment you would like to launch, click on that small arrow. Open with the Jupyter notebook. In this, our programs are stored in this folder, and OOPS program is being opened. Clear the output and restart the kernel. Now, please find here there are no numbers, which implies that these have not been executed now. We learned that in order to create a class keyword followed by class name and ends with colon. This is the syntax to create a class in Python. And then there is a documentation string. Here we learned that there is a class variable, initialization method, and then there are two other methods followed by the creation of two objects m1, m2, and there is a function call on m1 and m2 and printing of the m count. This is our program. Let us execute this program. We see that the output is name because display employee function is called on m1 and m2, and this function displays name and self dot name. Self is the reference to the current object, which is m1 in this case. Salary is self dot salary. Again, same m1. While creation of m1, the parameter passed are name and salary, which are initialized to its variables, name and salary, and that's get printed. Same thing happens with employee to m2, and m count was initialized to 0 whenever an employee was created through init method, which is like a constructor the emp count is incremented. Because two objects are created here, emp count is 2. Emp count could be printed through display count function or directly by calling it with the class. Students, there is a question to you. Here we could print employee.emp count. Now, suppose we don't want emp count to be visible outside the class. What do we have to do to make it private? All right, tell me, how do you make variables private in Java? Please respond, students. Uh, you can unmute and answer, or you can type in chat window by using private keyword. Yeah, very good. No, M count is accessed outside the class. To restrict its access outside the class, what do we have to do? In other words, to make it private. Like you said, like Varsha said, by using private keyword, we can make the members of the class private and visible only within the class and not outside the class. How can you perform the same function in Python? Okay, think about it.
Local variable, ma'am, which you need to define inside the.
Local variable, basically, what is the syntax to make a member private in Python? Okay, think about it. As we execute other programs, we'll apparently come across with that. In this, the first class employee, same thing. What is extra here? Here it is modifying the salary and modifying the name. After modifying, let us print again. Otherwise, how we will know whether it got modified or not? Initially, emp1 was created with the name and salary, which got printed as it is. emp2 is also created with name and salary, which got printed as it is. Total employees are printed by calling emp count. Later, emp1 salary and name has been updated, or they got modified. After modification, again when we are printing display employees, we get the modified name and salary. Actually, earlier name and modified name, you see, they are different. Earlier salary and modified salary are also different. This one is creating an employee with name and salary, and calling these attributes, or in fact they are the functions, has attr, get attr, attribute functions, special function. These are special functions. So has attr, is salary defined for emp1? Yes, true. Get attr, it returns the value for the salary belonging to emp1, which is 1000. And set attr is modifying the salary. After modifying, let us print again. Hmm. After modifying it to 7000, when we are printing it again using getAttr, we get 7000. Set returns none because it is not the one that returns the value of the attribute. Rather, it just makes the update operation. It carries out the update operation. Okay, has attr, getAttr, set attr. Let us try to delete. All right, now it has been deleted. Because it is deleted, if we try to now when we try to get the value for that attribute, because it has been deleted using deladdr, it raises an error. Employee object has no attribute salary. And then this cannot be done now because it raises an error. Let us try. This attribute got deleted. That's why it is giving error. Instead of this attribute, if we call name attribute, it is printing Alice. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Students, is it not visible? Hmm.
It is
So,
visible, ma'am.
problem is at your end, Bhargav. Please check it. When I print name, we get Alice because here we have in hmm, because we have deleted salary. When we tried printing salary, it raised an error. When we tried printing a name, it has printed the name what we have in assigned to this EMP1. This is already done. Again, if you try to do, let us see what happens. There is no, it is already been deleted. Therefore, it is raising an error, attribute error. This will also give an error because that attribute was deleted. Just because the attribute was deleted, all these cells are giving errors. What we will do is, let us comment it and try to execute it again. Now these cells won't give any error. Because again it is deleted here. This the subsequent cell is raising error. Once it is deleted, if you try to access it, it raises an error. This is a program that basically prints the built-in attributes. Every class has got built-in attributes which are document, name, module, basis, dictionary. These these attributes we are printing. Why emp.doc is none? Because here it has been commented. If you uncomment this and try to run, documentation would be common base class for all employees. This is documentation string that gets printed with a doc attribute. Name of the class is employee class name. Then in which module it is belonging? It is belonging to the main module. Here, because we are doing it in Jupyter Notebook, and this is a cell, not a program. If you use PyCharm and save this with .py, you get that name. Here it is main. Basis, what is the base class for this? It is object class. Because the class is not deriving from any other class, by default its base class would be object. What is this dictionary? This dictionary is uh, printing of the namespace of the class. This module name is main, documentation is this, emp count is 2, init is a function at this memory, display count is a function at this memory, display employee is also a function at this location, dictionary, uh, it is an attribute that holds the employee objects. Weakref is an attribute of employee objects. Weakref is also uh, an attribute. The last print statement, please observe this is the output of the last print. The output of this employee.basis is class object, whereas the output of last print statement is all these names and their description. This is to demonstrate the garbage collection. In order to demonstrate the garbage collection, this point class is created and references are, defined when that I have executed point class. Now I have executed the following cell which has print IDs of all the 3 points, and then deleting each point one after the other. Del PT1, del PT2, del PT3. After del PT3, point will be destroyed. This automatic garbage collection. This is this will not execute here because this is a Jupyter notebook. If you save this in PyCharm with point.py file, then this would work when we do through the traditional Python files. Here it is printing the error, no module named point. Because here point is defined in a cell, not as a file. And here, this cell implements inheritance concept where there is a class parent and there are functions belonging to parent. There is a child class and there are functions belonging to child class. When we run this, the object of child is created and this init constructor will be called and it prints the message that has to be printed in print statement within init. And following this is the printing of the child method. Child method just prints calling child method and then set attr, setting the attribute to 200. Set attr is here in within parent because child is the subclass of parent class. It can invoke all the methods of parent class and it is calling this method with 200 as the value. And getAttr would print the value. The value assigned is 200, so it prints 200. Same thing, same thing is being printed in the form of output. This is a vector class that implements operator overloading. Generally uh, and primarily, plus operator is for adding primitive types in that includes integers. If a plus operator is made to add two objects, it has to be overloaded by using this add method. This add method actually represents this plus operator. When you execute this, after the execution of this, we could perform addition of v1 plus v2. 2 plus 5 is 7. 10 plus minus 2 is 8. We could get 7 comma 8 because these two objects have been added through the overloaded plus operator. Here it is. The answer to the question which I posed to you all could be found here. Can you identify? What was the question? The question was how to prohibit access of members uh, outside the class. That is done by making them private by using double underscore before the name. If you use double underscore before the name, it would turn out to be a private member. And when you try to access this outside the class, it raises an error saying that it is not defined. Let's execute it. First, uh, 1. How is 1 obtained? 1 is obtained when when this count function is called counter.count. Count is printing self.secret count. So it prints 1. Second time when it is calling count, it is incrementing count and printing 2. When the same variable which is defined within a class is accessed outside the class, it raises an error stating that just counter object has no attribute double underscore secret count because the usage of double underscore makes it private If it is private, it cannot be accessed outside the class. What is the uh, you know block of class? Block of class is from here, this a double underscore to this uh, closing of parenthesis. How do we know that? Well, we know it because of the indentation. From the indentation, we would realize that there are one, two, three, four statements that occur within a class. Whatever is defined on the same level on the same indentation as the class, they are outside the class. Any doubts, students, in this? All right. Let us move ahead to the next topic, which is history of AI introduction. Quickly, we'll go through the topics that have been covered and see what is to be covered next. This is theory, AI theory. Python, once again, I'm reading. If you have any doubt in any of the concept, you can ask. Uh, Data, expressions, statements, modules, functions, control flow functions, lists, tuples, dictionaries, files, modules, packages, object-oriented programming. Along with the practicals, we covered all these topics. Let us now switch over to the theory of artificial intelligence, the introduction. Introduction to artificial intelligence. Before beginning this, let me show you the textbook. You will find all the 4.5 units of AI in this textbook. The soft copy of book is not available. One of your super seniors has scanned it, so I'll be sharing that scanned copy with you all. This is the textbook. Artificial Intelligence by Saroj Kaushik, Cengage Publications, 2011 edition, And these are the topics: Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, problem solving, and so on. As we go along, we will study these different topics. That is the first part of the book. The second part of the book is this. Because it is very huge, it has been split into two parts. So both the parts I will be sharing with you. Before beginning with the introduction, anyone please tell me, what do you mean by artificial and what do you mean by intelligent separately? What do you know? These are English words. What do you understand from these words separately, not as a subject name, as English words?
Which is not natural is known as artificial.
Very good. Something which is not natural is known as artificial. A perfect definition. Anyone else would like to add anything to this artificial word? Think over it. Students, whatever questions I'm asking, you should try to answer, if not to me, to yourself, so that you understand what you know and what you don't know, and you can improve on that. What is intelligence? Someone? No one knows what is intelligence? Let us look. Let us pose this query to Google. The meaning of intelligence, as per this Google from the dictionary, is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Acquire and apply. Here there are two verbs, acquire and apply. Acquire means what? Acquire means to gain. Apply means what? To implement. When you are attending class, are you acquiring any knowledge? Are you gaining any knowledge? Are you gaining any new information, new ideas, new topics? That is acquire. And when you try to, uh, you know, apply whatever you have learned to do something new which has not been discussed in the class is applying. You learned what is object oriented programming, you learn what is a class, you have learned how to implement a class. Suppose you would like to create your own class. We learned how to create employee class as a demonstration purpose. Now suppose the knowledge that you have acquired um, during the class, if you would like to apply it to create a student class, or a um, any other bag class, dress class, or house class, any other class, if you would like to create by applying the knowledge that you have acquired, is about applying, implementing. Knowledge and skills. Knowledge is, something that that makes you wise, that gives you information. And skills is about doing something like how to open anaconda, how to uh, create a new cell, add the contents to the cell, execute the cell. That all comes under skills. So practical AI with Python teach you skills as well as give you some knowledge. And sometimes theoretical knowledge would give you knowledge and would not teach you any skill. So that's why we say skill based learning where you learn practicals, where you know how to do the things. Is this definition clear? Are we humans intelligent? Most all of us, you know, in a broad sense, are intelligent. And why our intelligence is not artificial? Is our intelligence artificial or natural? It's natural. Why is it natural? Well, because it has been created by the supreme power, and everything that has been created by the supreme power is, you know, existent by nature. Anything that has been created by man is artificial. Rain occurs, that is a natural rain. Sometimes humans create a rain, and which is called as an artificial rain, because that has been uh, made by humans, not by the nature. So the whole idea why we are trying to understand this in so much detail is to gain a good understanding about what is artificial intelligence. You want, you means we humans, we want to create machines who are intelligent. We are trying to inculcate the intelligence into the machines. Therefore it is known as artificial intelligence. It is man made. We are making it, and we are trying to create machines, and machines are also created by humans. We want machines to acquire and apply the knowledge and skills. What we do, we want machines also to do the same thing. That is artificial intelligence. All right, students, anyone, please tell me what we do, what humans does. Uh, in other words, let me rephrase it. What what kind of intelligence we want machine to acquire and apply? Name any instance, any example which we do, machines can't do.
Thinking, ma'am.
Thinking, very good. Humans have thinking ability. Machines do not have thinking ability. Next, anything else that we do and machines can't do?
Emotions, feelings.
Yeah, emotions and feelings are not possessed by machines, and that are possessed by humans inherently. And try to relate, your mobile. Think that mobile is a device, What are the things you can do and that mobile cannot do? Or consider if you have a laptop, treat that laptop as a device. Uh, of course, it is a device. What that device can't do, which you can do, besides thinking and having emotions? Again, student, this question is to you until perhaps we come to the end of the class, where you might get the answers to all the questions, but then you could also note down whatever you are getting, whatever answers you feel are right for this question, note them down so that you can validate and you can see whether you are able to come up with correct answers. Now we are going to discuss about what is artificial intelligence, which we have covered mostly, characteristics of AI program, categories of systems, what is a Turing test, what are the foundations of AI, what are the views of AI goals, components of AI programs, sub areas, applications, and latest developments in AI. Artificial intelligence, an answer from academia. Academia means all we teachers and students. They say that modeling human cognition or mental faculty using computers. Human cognition means understanding and comprehension. Study of making computers do things which at the moment people are better, and making computers do things which require intelligence. These are different definitions. And a more formal definition of AI is that AI is a branch of computer science which is concerned with the study and creation of computer systems that exhibit some form of intelligence or those characteristics or properties which have been associated with intelligence in human behavior. Let us decode this. AI is a branch of computer science, all right, and it is concerned with study and creation of computer systems, which are known as AI systems. And how those AI systems or computer systems are different from other computer systems? Well, they show some form of intelligence. Let us ask Google what are intelligent. Here, an example of intelligent action has been uh, given, presented. I have to go shopping. I need to get the following: latest sound card, birthday present, some magazine, um, something to drink. What present do I gift? Do I get my what present do I get my friend? These are the four things that a person has gone to purchase. If you ask your friend, if you ask somebody, a human, what among these four, what you are going to give to friend? Perhaps he might tell that you're going to buy a CD or you buy something which is which your friend likes. Here they say that CD. A machine, if the same question is presented to machine may not be able to come out. Because what machine knows about friend, about present. Um, Here, okay, that is one example. Besides that, there are several other we will learn. So some form of intelligence, like identifying the birthday present for the friend. It is a form of intelligence that AI system should do, should exhibit. That is AI. This is the formal definition. Please uh, try to understand this and remember this. AI is a broad area consisting of different fields. AI encompasses machine vision, expert systems, subfields of AI. We'll look at subfields of AI. AI is a broad area. AI does not mean everything. AI is a general term that includes machine learning, neural networks, evolutionary computation, vision, robotics, expert systems, speech processing, natural language processing, planning. These are all subfields of AI, and this is not complete list. Further, there are several other subfields also. This is the most popular and widely used and widely accepted subfields of AI. What do you mean by vision? How is vision a subfield of AI? Students, please try. Anyone? What do you mean by vision? And how is it a subfield of AI? Well, vision is about seeing and identifying the objects. Humans can see and identify. If if I show you an image, if I show you image of a monument, but you can see this. Can machine see? Machine nowadays machines are having cameras. They can see through cameras. Okay. Earlier it was very difficult for a machine to see. Now advancements have happened, a lot of advancements. And what do you know about this? You know that it is a monument in Agra and all. There is a story behind this, all that. This is like vision. If suppose I show you a photo of somebody, then you can identify. How can you identify? Because you know him. That's why you could identify. What about a machine? How will machine identify? If machine could identify all the persons, if not all, at least few persons, then we say that machine has got the vision. Machine can see, machine can identify. Robotics, Robotics is an area which involves creation of robots. Have you heard about Sophia robot? Anyone know about Sophia robot? Can you hear what this YouTube from the audio from the YouTube? Students, please anyone respond.
No,
Can you
ma'am.
hear the audio from YouTube? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then I have to find a way to present the audio, but then just look at this. This is a humanoid robot. This is a very good example of artificial intelligence. Its name is Sophia. See how it is talking. It is saying, "My name is Sophia and thank you for having me." And see, look at it, it is smiling also. I'll share the link with you all. You can just go to this video and listen to it. She's giving interview. Look at her expressions. And this person is asking questions. So this is also a area of AI to develop humanoid robo means that look also like a last year the Sophia visited India. See, India welcomes robot Sophia. I think it is at IIT Bombay. No, here. Actually, first it went to IIT Bombay and then maybe West Bengal also. Look at this. This is Sophia. Now it has dressed like an Indian. Sophia is greeted with an arti on the stage. This is actually a robot and it is turning its head, giving expressions. This is all happened because of AI. Students, are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. So I'll share those two links. You just watch that. You know, besides learning the prescribed syllabus, we should focus on the current happenings to understand the technology better. So then this point explains that now machine can see, machine can identify, machine we can develop robots. We can develop robots that look like humans and that gives expressions like humans. And in order to classify machines as thinking, it is necessary to define intelligence. Intelligence is defined as a property of the mind that encompasses many related mental abilities. What are mental abilities? To reason, to plan, to solve problems, to think abstractly, to comprehend ideas, languages, and to learn. These are the properties of intelligence. Humans possess these properties, and now machines have also started to gain most of the properties. What are the characteristics of AI system? Well, in order to define the characteristics, we should know what is an intelligence. From the previous slide, we know that an intelligent being is the one who can reason, who can plan, who can learn, who can understand and speak language, who can understand ideas and can come up with new ideas and can think abstractly, um, and you know see and identify the things. All these are intelligent properties. Learn new concepts and tasks. AI system should be able to learn new concepts and tasks, should be able to reason and draw useful conclusions. Reason and draw useful conclusions. This point try to understand. This is quite important to understand that humans, without explicitly being told, can draw conclusion. Hmm? Uh, when I told you please join, in the morning I sent a message to our WhatsApp group. Please join. What do you understand from that please join phrase? You understand that uh, the audio issue which I informed you about earlier, has been resolved, and now I'm asking you to join the online class. And you know that the meeting link for the online class has already been shared. From just a phrase please join, you could relate it to so many different points which have been discussed or you know uh, known earlier, because there was some issue. Now you could conclude that now that issue has been resolved. How you could conclude that that issue was resolved just from the phrase please join? Because human mind is made in such a manner that we can um, extract the hidden information and knowledge in the statement. All right. Suppose if there is a class today, and if I tell you today I have got some important work, what do you conclude? What do you derive from that sentence which I spoke? That I might not take class. I have not explicitly told you that I'm not taking class for you, but as humans, we can draw conclusions and new information from the uh, known facts, known statements, that machine should also be able to do. If machine could draw conclusions, then we need not tell machine everything again and again. Suppose at 9 o'clock I told the machine that there is an audio issue. At 9:10 I tell the machine that please join. Machine should be able to correlate please join with audio issue, understand, and then go back to the previous meeting link and join, and should join. Understand in natural language. Unless and until machine understand natural language, can speak, can write, can uh, understand in oral form, in written form, we cannot call it as a AI machine, AI system, because we know SQL, we know many languages like Java, C, and Python and all. What do we do in that? We write programs that are understood by the machine. But in AI, we don't want to write any program. We want to say everything in our own language, in humans' language to machine. That machine should understand and can act and should act upon from these natural sentences and statements. That is natural language processing. That is also an important characteristic of AI. And machine should be able to plan sequences of action to complete the goal. If I say to machine, uh, example, Google Assistant is there, no? If you say, hey Google, okay, how many of you have used Google Assistant? Or Siri, if you have Apple phone, Alexa in Amazon, we have Alexa. Have you all used anyone? Say yes or no, at least in the chat window. Well, I'm assuming here no. Um, these are assistants that come along with the you, you know other applications. In Android mobile, you have a um, assistant provided by Google called as Google Assistant. If you say, "Hey Google," a window pops up in the Android mobile, and you go to Amazon e-commerce website. There, if you say, "Alexa, find a bag for me," then it finds it. They could understand the human language, natural language. And if I say to Google Assistant, "Hey Google, uh, now, schedule a class for MCA second years tomorrow at 10 o'clock." If I say like this, it should be able to plan the sequence of action in order to schedule a class, and it should be able to give advices. There are so many chatbots. Have you heard about chatbot? Anyone know about chatbot? Chatbots are software bots that are used to talk to the system, capable of performing intelligent tasks effectively and efficiently, perform tasks that require high level of intelligence. Moving on to understanding of AI. AI techniques and ideas seem to be harder to understand than most of the other things in computer science. Other computer science topics are data structures, we have programming languages, database management systems. These are other topics in computer science. Besides that, there is also AI. AI is hard to understand and to implement, and AI shows best results on complex problems for which journal computer science program fails. AI is difficult to understand by its content, and the boundaries of AI is not well defined. We know what are the subfields of AI, but then clearly you can't say this is in AI and this is out of AI. And it means that advanced software engineering, sophisticated software techniques for hard problems also probably could be included in AI because they also cannot be easily solved. AI programs, like people, are usually not perfect and even they make mistakes. We people, we have got a magical brain. You know, brain is a very complicated and complex structure. This brain sometimes make mistakes as well, and the same thing applies to AI programs. They also make mistakes, but then humans are trying not to have a AI programs with mistakes, and it's difficult for humans to comprehend and solve the things in numeric form. Uh, and everything we tend to imagine is in the form of some language or some visualization, but not in a number form, numeric form. The same kind of cognition, same kind of learning. Essentially, may AI system work on numbers only, but on top of that, it should be able to understand all that humans understand. Categories of AI system: a system that think like humans, that act like humans, that think rationally, that act rationally. That think like humans means they just think, but they may not act. All right. uh, that act like humans means like robots that can move like a human, means they can also act. A laptop cannot move. Can a laptop move from one location to another? No. But laptop we can have an AI software that can think like humans. But then there would be a robot that can act also like humans, that can move around, that can navigate, that think rationally. Thinking rationally means thinking objectively, thinking illogically, thinking in such a manner that you could explain uh, your actions, your ideas. That is thinking rationally, and that is that you want systems also to do. Systems should think rationally, come up with a reason. Suppose if I tell you, if I ask you, why are you attending today's class? Okay, so there will be different reasons of different students. So if you are able to give a right reason for the task, for the work that you are doing, then it is like doing things rationally and act also rationally. Something which is not criticized by others. Suppose if two people are arguing, if one person start beating and make the thing very violent, the entire scenario, only one is doing behaving in a violent way, then he is not acting rationally. The other one who is not yes, yeah, we have consciousness as well. You are right. So acting rationally, properly, rightly, which is acceptable, then that think like humans. An example is neural network model. This we will study. Perhaps you will study in machine learning subject. Machine learning and AI both are interrelated. They are not; these two are not independent subjects. ML is a sub area. Just now we learned, no? It is a sub area of AI. You look at here. Major subfields of AI is ML. ML is the very important and significant area of AI. You will be studying broad AI in this subject, and you will be studying detailed AI with techniques in ML. And then neural networks is an example of systems that think like human, that act like human. Um, you can take, as I told you, example of a robot that can take its decision based on its observation, think rationally, using logic, using formulas, using theories, and not based on emotions and sentiments. Rational thinking is based on logic, and act rationally means right behavior, doing the right things. Humans don't act rationally every time, but they possess that quality. Okay, we will now look at the history or the evolution of artificial intelligence. Who is the father of artificial intelligence? Uh, what is the test that determines or validates AI? Let us look at. There is a mathematician, Alan Turing. It's Alan Turing. He look at here. Look at his image. Alan Turing is known as the father of AI. He is a mathematician, computer scientist, logician, philosopher, cryptanalyst, and so on. He was born in 1912 and died in 1954. And here, what he did in 1950, he proposed a Turing test. What is Turing test? This is it. This is a Turing test. This is proposed by Alan Turing. There is a uh, computer in one room. There is another. There is a human in another room. There are two rooms. Okay, they are locked. Inside one room there is one computer. Inside another room there is a uh, human, and there is a third room. Uh, in that there is another human. These three can't see uh, each other. Okay, no one can see each other, and no one knows who is in which room. Okay, now Turing test begins by this interrogator. This interrogator pose a question to human responder and to computer. If interrogator cannot distinguish whether room A, consider this to be room A and consider this to be room B, whether room A has a human or room B has a human, or whether room A has a computer or a human, whether room B has a computer or a human. If interrogator cannot distinguish, then it says that the machine has achieved artificial intelligence, because this interrogator could not distinguish between a human and a machine. Interrogator cannot say that room A has machine. Interrogator thinks that room A also has a human. Alright, this is known as Turing test. In 1950, this Alan Turing has introduced this test to check whether a machine can think like a human. And this test is known as Turing test. Okay. This is from this uh, scientists, computer scientists especially started thinking to implement artificial intelligence. And then later in 1956, John McCarthy. John McCarthy was an American computer scientist and cognitive scientist, and he was one of the founders of the discipline of AI. And he only coined the term AI. This AI phrase or the name was, given, proposed by John McCarthy, and he got Turing Award. Turing Award is like a Nobel Prize of computer science. Nobel Prize, it is the highest award that is given to uh, people of various fields. And Turing Award is like a Nobel Prize which are given to the scientists of computer science background, only computer science background. Okay, so he has coined the term um, this AI, artificial intelligence. And this is what we looked at: human interrogator, machine, and AI system. This is Turing test. ELIZA, this was the first program developed by Joseph Weisbaum that used to converse in 1960s in English. It used to converse. Converse means communicate in English language in mid 1960s, and it passed a Turing test. However, there is no machine that has totally passed Turing test. Even if a machine has passed Turing test, it's not total; it's partial. All right. Uh, like a human, there is no machine that has been developed so far. Let us look at ELIZA. This Eliza AI could be called as a chatbot. Why it is called as a chatbot? If it can talk to a human, then it is known as a means chat. If it can chat, bot means software robots are known as bots. Hardware robots are known as robots, and in software, the one which talk to human, it is known as chatbot. Uh, Here it says talk to Eliza by typing your question and answer in the input box. The first message is hello, I am Eliza. I'll be your therapist today. So now I type some message. I am very sad today. Then Eliza asks, see, Eliza is asking me, do you believe it is a normal to be very sad today? Means, is it normal for you to be sad? Eliza is asking. If I say no, then Eliza says something. Are you saying no just to be negative? So if I say no, do you really expect a different answer if you keep repeating yourself? Look at this, how it is giving response. Uh, Not only Eliza, most of the websites nowadays have chatbots. Suppose if I open website, if I open here, most of the time you will see one dialog box pops up, and it says it asks us some questions. Perhaps this is not uh, giving. Um, okay, yeah, students, you also try. I'll also try. Here you get one box which asks us some questions. They are chatbots. So Eliza was the first chatbot that was developed in mid 1960s. So here these are the conversation. Men are all alike. Means in what way? Blue means Eliza's response. Eliza is asking in what way. Um, like that, you can open it and you can chat. It gives sometimes it gives very intelligent responses. Sometimes it gives weird kind of responses, because anyway it is a machine, right? It is not a human. It does not possess any common sense, but to a great extent it performs well. What are the foundations of AI? AI is not a field that exists in isolated manner. There are several other fields that contribute and that are part of AI. Mathematics is very important part of AI. Without mathematics, there is no AI. Most of the today's algorithms and systems rely on math. Neuroscience to understand human mind. When you understand human mind, you can implement it in the form of AI. Therefore, neuroscience is also, uh, very very important area that is working with AI. Control theory, uh, because we develop robots which are AI uh, machines. So this control theory also contribute in the development of all that hardware and their response to the environment and all. Linguistics is important because AI must converse in natural language. Therefore, AI must know about languages, grammar, vocabulary, uh, syntax, rules, and all. Okay, so from mathematics, Boolean logic, fuzzy logic, probability, statistics, temporal logic, all these are taken. From neuroscience, how brain works, and uh, how we humans understand the things, how we human respond, plan, reason, and all. Although no one knows yet how humans represent, images or characters or patterns, and how we plan, how we think. There is no knowledge yet about how actually things are stored in brain, but people are trying, neuroscientists are trying. So how machines modify their behavior and how do they respond in the environment, that is control theory. uh, to understand human language, machine should learn linguistics as well. There are two views of AI goals. AI is about duplicating what the human brain does, which is cognitive science. AI is about duplicating what the human brain should do, which is rationality. Rationality is about doing the right things logically. This AI is concerned with this as well as with uh, how human brain um, does the things. That is cognitive science. What are the this? Actually, this should not be the full steps. Rather, it should be the sub fields or sub areas. AI. Game playing, machine learning, speech, language, vision, data mining, web agents. These are all sub areas in AI. Hmm. Where AI is useful. AI is useful in medical diagnosis, fraud detection, object identification, space shuttle scheduling, information retrieval. These are the applications of AI. AI techniques can be rule based, fuzzy logic based, neural networks, genetic algorithms, and this list is also not complete. Here only four are mentioned. All machine learning techniques that you learn, they belong to AI only. What are the components of AI program? AI program includes knowledge base, uh, navigational capability if you are developing a robo, inferencing, as I told you. If I tell you, mm, today it's very cloudy and I am not going to play. So what do you infer from these two sentences? That it might rain. How do you infer that? If as a human we know that if it is cloudy, it rains. All right. So therefore, uh, inferencing capability must be built in AI program as well. Knowledge base is like a database. In database, you create tables and store information. Knowledge base is storage wise it is same, but the way in which you store the format and all differs. In knowledge base, facts and rules are stored, and the characteristics of knowledge is that it is voluminous in nature, and it requires structuring, and it is incomplete and imprecise, and it keeps on changing. It is dynamic. Navigational capability, this is mainly used for hardware robots. Every day you see in the news, you get that people are developing so many different kinds of robots. There are different robots. There's Walker robot, Sandbot, Romeo, Buddy, Miro. There are different robots. 10 humanoid robots. Sophia is the one like that. This is also one. This is like these are like they resemble humans. Why they are known as humanoid robots? Because they resemble human. Not only humanoid, there are several other robots. Robots that work in industries, robots that move, you know, um, along with the. Suppose if there is a fire, it is very dangerous for the human to go into the fire. Recently, one robot was developed that can um, go with the fire engine and can enter in the fire and can save people. Robot for fire. Hmm. This robots, different robots. This robot is going upstairs. Oh, Mumbai set to become first city to get firefighting robot. In India also it is available. Look at this. So for that purpose, control theory is useful for navigational purpose. Inferencing is to search the knowledge base and derive new knowledge. Sub areas, okay. We know knowledge representation, theorem proving, game playing, learning, logic, planning, scheduling, natural language understanding, computer vision, understanding spoken utterances, tutoring system, robotics, machine translation, expert system, neural networks. All these are the sub areas of AI. Applications are useful in business, in financial strategies. It gives us advice, and then in engineering, then manufacturing, mining, hospital, education, household, farming. All these are the different applications of AI. And there are three typical components which are perception, reasoning, action. Perception is to see, reasoning is to decide the things, and action is to take action. Recent AI uses probability theory, decision theory, statistics, and all AI models. Whatever you will study, neural networks, decision tree, random forest, naive bayes, logistic regression, linear regression, SVM, all these are AI techniques. Yeah, any questions, student, in all this whatever we have learned so far? So let us see. Okay, this news is not coming, but then here it says that this Mumbai is using fire extinguisher robot. What else I can show you about AI, applications of AI? Let us see. Applications of AI in healthcare. AI in healthcare. AI can support clinical decisions, can enhance primary care. There is robotic surgeries. There is a virtual nursing assistant. It helps in accurate diagnosis. AI is doing a lot in healthcare, not only in healthcare, in every domain. Uh, AI is contributing. All right, students, any doubts? If there are no doubts, let us discuss the questions and end this class. So in unit 1, you have completed Python questions. All of you have completed all the Python questions. Now I will share with you all these AI introduction questions. Next week onwards, we will begin unit 2, problem solving. Okay, then students, I'll post these questions and those programs and everything to the group.